1, 2, Kylie's coming for you. I'm sorry, that was uncalled for. I couldn't help it. Honestly, I think I'd rather have Freddie come for me than this palette. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Kimmie. This is my attic and welcome to day 22 of 31 days in the attic. Today we are testing the Nightmare on Elm Street palette by Kylie, hence the Freddy Krueger shirt. He did wear something like this. I think he wore a sweater, but he wore something like this. Anyway, guys, it has been a minute since I have tried anything by Kylie. I have tried nothing from the new line. Let me just take you back. Let me take you back a couple years ago. A couple years ago, when I was first getting into makeup, I will tell you everything was Kyliecosmetics. Kyliecosmetics was so popular, and it was like the instant something dropped, like you couldn't get it. Like it would sell out. This was before she came to Ulta. Like she would sell out very, very fast. And I think she still has like a following of people that buy her products. But I have to tell you, I always liked her products. I did. So when I was first getting eyeshadow, because of my nickel allergy, was the last thing that I got into or that I thought I could try. I tried other makeup first, and I had no problems. I tried foundation, I tried blush, I tried highlighter, I tried bronzer, and I had no problems. And then I got to eyeshadow. And I remember I was buying, back then I used to be constantly buying Kylie lip kits. I had so many colors of Kylie lip kits. And I remember being like, you know what, I want to try an eyeshadow. And so I purchased a single eyeshadow called Jack Frost. I'll never forget it because it was like almost like a translucent shade. And I thought to myself, I probably, like if I'm going to have a problem with this eyeshadow, I probably can't wear any eyeshadow because this eyeshadow had very little pigment. And lo and behold, I did not have a problem with it. So it holds a special place in my heart for me getting back into like makeup and eyeshadow, or getting into makeup and eyeshadow, because that was the first one I tried. And then they launched at Ulta, and that holiday season, Kylie released a palette. It was like a holiday palette, but it turned out there was a lot of controversy behind this palette because it turned out it was like a best of palette and people didn't know that, so they purchased it. And then, like I said, most people who bought Kylie's stuff back then had all her stuff. Like you wouldn't just go out and buy a Kylie palette. You probably had all the Kylie palettes. So she released this palette for Ulta for the holiday season. It was pink, it was glittery, and I purchased it. I loved it. It was like one of my first palettes I ever owned. But a lot of people didn't like it because it was like a best of palette. So they already had all the shades. And they thought they were new shades or something like that. I think a lot of the shades were actually from her Valentine's Day palette, because I remember thinking like they weren't Christmassy, and then they didn't even have Christmas names. A lot of them did have like Valentine's Day names. And then later on I found out that they were like mostly from the Valentine's Day palette. So, but anyway, I don't even know why the reason I'm telling you that story is because that was the last thing I used by Kylie. After that, I started to get into other stuff, and I realized that I liked other brands a lot better than I liked her as far as eyeshadow formula. But that, like I said, that was the last time I used Kylie. I would tell you what I think Kylie does exceptionally well: her lip products. I think her lip products were always one of my favorites. I know her lip products were always one of my favorites. But Kylie has recently rebranded. She rebranded her company. And I'm not 100% sure like what the big difference is, because I'm telling you that a lot of the stuff, like even like a lot of the highlighters, they have the same names as the old highlighters. The packaging is different. They look different, a little bit different, but I don't know if they're the same formula or not. I'm not really sure. I have not really purchased anything from Kylie in a while. This is the first thing I have purchased in a while. However, I do have some oldies but goodies that I'm going ahead and use today. I mean, this is the Cotton Candy highlighter, and she makes a highlighter called Cotton Candy. So but the packaging is different. But is it the same formula? I don't know. This is the old packaging with like the drip. But we'll get there in a second. For now, we are focusing on A Nightmare on Elm Street. When I saw that she was releasing this palette, I had to have it. I had to have it because I you know, I love horror movies. I was never like a big Freddy fan, but I love horror movies. And I think this is the only palette I saw this year that was like based on a horror movie. So I did buy the palette, and I picked up A Nightmare on Elm Street by Kylie Lip and Cheek Jelly Stain. This was both from the Nightmare on Elm Street collection. There was also lipsticks in the collection, and I believe lashes, but what's really kind of funny is that those are both sold out. But these two products are still available. So these two products are still available. So these are the products that we are going to try today. So I haven't tried it yet. And I haven't seen anybody review it yet either. So let's go ahead and try this out. Okay guys, so first let me read you a little description. This is from Kylie's website. Limited edition A Nightmare on Elm Street powder palette, pressed powder palette, contains 12 shades in 3 finishes, matte, metallic, and glitter. Glitter? Uh-oh. Does Kylie do pressed glitters? I don't remember. I only had one palette. I had that holiday palette, and as I recall, there were no pressed glitters, but I guess she does press glitters. I don't know. This Halloween-inspired color story features soft, easy-to-blend formulas that deliver high pigment color payoff. This palette is $30. Like I said, it's still available on Kylie's website. I'll link it down below. Let's go ahead and open it up and see what it looks like. Here's the packaging. The packaging is really, really, really cute. You have, like I said, it's like Freddy's sweater, and then the fingernail scratches, because of course that was Freddy's weapon, was his fingernails. And then you open it up and there it is. That is the palette we are talking about. Now, the packaging is really, really cute. You have a nice mirror. You have like the blood stains, I guess. Like it says Nightmare on Elm Street, but wow. Who knew Freddy was into neutrals? This is a lot of neutrals for this palette. This is, I mean, I did glance what it looked like before I online before I purchased it, but for some reason I don't remember it quite looking like this. It's kind of a little, I don't know. Yeah, so like the first whole row, and even here, this palette is easily half neutrals. Very neutral. And then you have some like more like orangey red tones, and then you have these two colors kind of look like his sweater. So these two colors kind of make sense. The rest of it really doesn't, to be honest with you. This is kind of, I don't know, this color story does not scream Freddy Krueger to me. Like I said, I didn't know Freddy was into soft neutrals. But what we'll do is we will swatch it out, and we'll get a feel for the colors, and then we'll try it. And I'm also going to swatch this, what I purchased. This is A Nightmare on Elm Street Cheek and Blush Duo. No, not Cheek and Blush Duo. Cheek and Lip Duo. And this is what this looks like that blood stuff I used the other day when I tried to be a zombie. It has like the same consistency too. It looks like Jell-O. It doesn't smell. I don't know. I am going to try it on the cheeks and the lips. Usually I only wear these kind of things on the cheeks, but today it's a special day. We'll try it in both places. So let's go ahead and let's swatch this palette out, and then we'll give it a chance. Okay guys, so here's the first 6 shades. This palette is 12 shades. Here's the first 6 shades. What is so Halloween-y? Or, I mean, does this scream Nightmare on Elm Street? To me, it doesn't. This shade is nice. This is I'll Be Your Nightmare. If I had to guess, I would say that this shade is quite easy to formulate because it's kind of in probably half the palettes that I own. You will find this shade. And it's always beautiful. Like, this kind of shade always swatches out really, really nice. I would have to imagine that this shade is easy to formulate. As far as the rest of them, I mean, I don't know. We've got some powdery mattes going on here. This one was powdery. This one was powdery. This one's okay. I mean, the shimmers are nice. These two are a little bit better, I think, than this one. But all in all, I don't know what, I don't know. I have no words. What is so Freddy Krueger about this? I'm not sure. We'll see. And the last 6 shades. Here you have it. This is a real pressed glitter. This is not like a pressed glitter that was in the Gather Round Sisters palette where it was like kind of like a buttery formula. This is a real pressed glitter. And then this matte was really difficult to swatch. We have this kind of like hot pink shimmer. This is nice. This matte was also a little difficult to swatch. These mattes aren't swatching so great. Here's the green color. This color makes sense in the palette. A lot of these colors don't to me. I will tell you what I would have done with the Nightmare on Elm Street palette if they had asked me, which they didn't. But here's the last 6. And here's that cheek/lip stain swatched out. This is a lot of it. I put a little and you really couldn't see it. So this is like a whole lot of it. It's kind of like a light reddish color. It's not bad. Let's see how it looks. I'm almost a little afraid to try this out because it's not coming off my hands. I had less trouble getting the zombie makeup off. So I'm gonna try it, but hopefully it's nice because I have a feeling it's not going anywhere for a while. So I'm gonna go ahead and try it on the lips first. Let's see. Now, if it seems like I'm giving this palette a hard time, I'll tell you why. I am, and I'll tell you why. Here's the thing with me. Let me see. Wait. Let me put more on. If you like a color like you just ate a cherry ice pop, then you might like this. It doesn't feel bad. I mean, it feels kind of comfortable. We'll see if it dries down. But there's really no, I mean, I know it's just a lip tint, but I don't know. There's not a whole lot of pigment to this. Let me go ahead, for the lips anyway. I have a feeling for the cheeks it's gonna be a whole different story. Let me go with a very light hand. So yeah, like, oh, yeah. It's a little too flushy than what I kind of like. I think this might be a waste of money for me. Might have been a waste of money for me. It's okay. So it's like really pink. I've got that I was running around the block look. I don't know. To me, this is like, this stuff is not so great. I think you could definitely bypass this. There's definitely better like cheek stains out there. I think I would bypass this one. Like I said, if it seems like I'm giving the palette a hard time, the reason that is because normally when it's very, very unusual that I open up a palette and I'm disappointed. Usually no matter what, I think the palette's gorgeous and whether or not I like it, I'll learn from wearing it. But this palette, just opening it up, I don't know, it's so underwhelming, right? It's like so... Here's the thing, if you want to buy a neutral palette, you're probably not going to gravitate towards A Nightmare on Elm Street, right? Like, you're going to expect more from this. What would I have done with this palette before I even tried it? It's okay to have a couple of neutrals. I would have definitely added a white shade. Why would I add a white shade? Because if you remember, Freddy Krueger, whenever that movie came on, they always had like those little girls with the creepy music, and they were always like in these white flowing dresses. So I would have definitely had a white shade. I would have had like a deeper brown, so maybe like killed off 3 of these, any 3, killed off 3 of these, put in a very deep brown, a white shade, and maybe some kind of like, I would have killed this glitter. I think I would have taken out this pink. I don't think we need a reason for, maybe some more shimmers, maybe add like a green shimmer to this. so that you had like more than this just one lonely matte green. We could have added a green shimmer. We could have added maybe like a deeper red, something like that. I don't know. I would have to think about it, but I think I would have definitely put a black in here, or maybe a deep purple. Maybe a deep purple. Like the packaging has like this deep purple kind of drizzled on it. Maybe something like that. Definitely not all these neutral shades. Definitely not that. That I know I definitely would have done. So yeah, that's what I think I would have made this palette better. A white shade, maybe a like deeper red shade, a green metallic shade, a black matte, and maybe more of an inner corner like silver kind of shade, or not, maybe a white matte and a white kind of metallic, something like that. Something like that. I would change this palette around. But let's go ahead, let's try it out, let's see what it does. All right, so let's see, where should I start? Where to begin? I guess I'll start with this shade, Don't Fall Asleep. I'll take this one and put this kind of all over the lid. It's not a whole lot of pigment there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead with Bad Dream. We'll do this shade right here. See if we can like, ooh, look at that shade on the brush. Okay, this shade is pretty. I mean, I wouldn't wear this shade because this is kind of the color my eyes turn when I have a nickel allergy reaction, but this shade is kind of pretty, but I think for this palette I would have deepened it up. But I do like this shade, and I like this formula. Like, I like this formula of this shade. This is Bad Dream. That might have been the shade I said I might take out. Let's go ahead and put it back in. We'll go ahead and try Gonna Get You. That's the green shade. We'll put that like in the outer, like deepen it up a little bit, I guess. Ooh, no, that didn't blend that well. Let's instead go to Dream Demon. That's this red shade right here. Dream Demon. Well, that's kind of nice. See, that's like a Freddy shade. That's what I would expect. Well, I have to say, this is a rare case. I'm actually using this palette. I'm a little bit more pleased than I thought I would be. Using this palette, it's a little bit better than looking at this palette. This palette is not all that aesthetically pleasing, but the shadows actually blend very nice. I just feel like the color story is off for this palette. Color story is a little off for this palette. Let's try the shimmers. Let's go ahead and try Come to Freddy. Because Springwood High, I want to try this one, but it's a freaking pressed glitter. I don't like pressed glitters. This palette, I think, ooh. See, here's the thing. I like a shimmer. I do. I always prefer my shimmers over the mattes. This is kind of a shitty shimmer. I don't care for this shimmer at all. I'm gonna go under with this Gonna Get You shade because that did not really blend out well on the lid. So let's see if I can. Yes, I do not have my brushes ready. What world would we be in if I had any brush ready? This palette has fallout, definitely. But normally I don't care. To me, fallout's not that big a deal. I don't hate this palette. I don't. But I don't love it either. Let's try I'll Be Your Nightmare. Because I think that shade was kind of nice. I mean, this shade is nice, but you could find this shade like in any palette. And this palette needs better shimmers. Among other things, it needs better shimmers. I'll go ahead and use, we'll try Elm Street on the inner corner. See what happens there. Ooh! I can't even pick it up. But there it is. There we go. Oh. Okay, that's kind of nice. See, now that's a shimmer. Now that's a shimmer, Elm Street. That looks kind of nice. All right, so let me go ahead and do the other eye, guys. We'll come back and we'll wrap it up. I'll give you my final thoughts. Okay, guys, so I did go ahead and do the other eye. Do I absolutely hate this palette? No. Do I absolutely love this palette? No. I'm kind of on the fence with this palette, but before I talk about that, I am going to go ahead and try, I haven't used this in such a long time. This is the Kylie Cotton Candy Cream. I remember really, really liking this. I remember really liking this Kylie, and she still makes this shade in her rebranded line. And it looks very similar to me. Isn't it gorgeous? I wonder if it's the same formula. This highlighter was always really, really pretty. I can't tell you if it's the same highlighter because I didn't go out and buy the new one, and I really don't really think I will. But the old one was nice. So if the new one is similar to the old one, it is nice. But now I will give you my Kylie recommendation. This is something that I think she does extremely well. This is the Kai Brow. This is like a highlighter for under your brow. And Benefit used to make one. I don't know if they still make one. I couldn't find it the other day I was looking for it. But these are so pretty. So I am in the shade, which shade am I in? Light Shimmer. They make matte ones too. And it's just for like under your eyebrow. It just like gives it a little bit of highlight, and it's beautiful. I love these. I think these are gorgeous. If you do want to pick up something from Kylie, I would go with that. Definitely. And like I said, if her highlighters are anything like her old ones, if her new ones, I guess they're called highlighters. They used to be called Kylighters. If they're like the old ones, I would pick them up too. I think I always liked her highlighter formula. I thought it was really nice. As far as the palette, honestly, guys, I would skip it. I would skip this palette. I just feel it's just for $30, it's not that good. It's too many neutrals, and the shades that are here are not great. The Bad Dream is probably the nicest one, and that's this shade right here. It doesn't really fit, to me, a Freddy Krueger color story. It looks like a Valentine's Day shade, but it's nice. It is nice. And the shade I'll Be Your Nightmare, that shade's kind of nice too. I do like that. But that's like it. Oh, and the shade Elm Street. Elm Street is a nice shimmer. The rest of them, honestly, I tried to use Dream Demon. No, not Dream Demon. Gonna Get You. I tried to use Gonna Get You like on the outer lid, and I did use it on the lower lash line. It's not that great. And I don't know. I don't like pressed glitters. I don't like this kind of formula pressed glitter. All in all, I'm not blown away by this palette. Maybe I will wake up and my $30 will be back on my credit card. I don't think so. I don't think so. Anyway, yeah, I would skip this palette, and I would definitely skip a Nightmare, Kylie Nightmare. Boy, is that the truth. This stuff is just no, this is a no. It stained me. It's stained. Like, my fingers are red. My hand is red. I tried to get it off with the wipe. It wouldn't come off. And then where I want to see it on my cheek, I really don't. And even my lips. I can kind of tell there's something there. This stuff is definitely not worth $17. Definitely not. So So it's a thumbs, the collection as far as the palette and the lip stain, cheek stain, whatever, it's just a thumbs down for me. I mean, it's not the most terrible palette I've ever used, but it's just not that good. And with all the Halloween palettes that I have been trying this month, I think this is definitely one that you can skip. Sorry, Kylie. It was not, for me, I just didn't like it. Have you guys tried this palette? I would love to know what you think. Let me know in the comments down below. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow with another video. Bye-bye.